for the last time this year. Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Medium in the Middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 154. I am the Medium in the Middle. My name is Stephanie, and this is the last podcast episode of 2022. I can't believe it has come so quickly. So the podcast will be taking a break, returning on January 11th. And this is the only break that I take from the podcast. I take weeks off here and there, but this is 3 weeks of no recording. I will be back in the new year in your ears. So welcome to the last episode. This seems so crazy. I can't believe we are into the holiday season of 2022. It still feels too early in December to do an end of year and reflection and all of that. I'm really saving that for my meeting in the middle this month. It is on December 29th from 5 to 7:30 p.m. We are doing my famous goals workshop. And this is where we are looking back at 2022. What happened? What did you do? And then we look forward and we do some goal planning and setting for 2023. This is my favorite thing to do, and I love to do it in between Christmas and New Year's, where everybody doesn't know what day it is, which way's up, which way's down. Are you drinking eggnog? Are you drinking wine? Is it coffee time? So if you haven't already registered, join me for that. It's going to be a very, very fun evening or morning, depending on where you live. And I always feel so good after that workshop. I love attending goals workshops so much. I even signed up for a local one next week. It's always nice to get inspiration from other people. So even though I'm going to be attending my own workshop on the 29th, I am attending another workshop on the 19th. So that is very, very exciting. I love pumping up for the new year. New year, new me. Just know that this workshop isn't about changing everything, about who you are, what you're doing, where you're going. It just allows you some focus and it gives you some time to actually think about what you want. For me, I'm the type of person that I will head down and work. And when I lift my head out of the sand, I'm like, oh no, it's December. And I, didn't plan anything, didn't buy any tickets to anything, didn't go anywhere, do anything. So I definitely need some type of plan. So while I'm rolling full steam ahead throughout the year, I'm like, hey, I wrote down a goal that in May I'm going to travel. I should book something. So I'll leave the link down below in the show notes if you want to join me for that. If you can't join live, everyone does get a replay. So if you're registered, you'll get the replay. You can go back and watch it on your own time. You can rewatch it and go a little bit slower. It's also really nice because you will have it year over year as well if you want to redo it in the future. My other announcement is that I opened another Reiki Level 1 course for February. January's went so fast, I wasn't able to even launch it. So the next course that is not sold out for Reiki Level 1, if you are looking to learn Reiki Level 1 in the new year, is February 11th and 12th, 2023. I will leave that link down below, but it's a Saturday and Sunday course, and it is held live via Zoom, so you can join from anywhere in the world. And I haven't done all my end of year numbers yet. I'll be doing them at the end of the month and at the workshop, but I did teach 22 Reiki courses in 2022. So I really like that number. So 22 Reiki courses in 2022, and I cannot wait to continue teaching Reiki in 2023. So we're going to jump into the last card pull for 2022. And when I was looking in my drawer of all my card decks, I thought that I wanted to pull from the Kyle Gray Angel Guidebook, and I shuffled and it wasn't feeling that great. And I pulled a card and I was like, eh. Then I pulled another card and I was like, eh. Then I pulled another card and I was like, this isn't it. So then I went back to my drawer and I was like, okay, this isn't the vibe. What do I want to pull from? And then I pulled the Rebecca Campbell deck out and I was like, ooh, yeah, this one. And then again, I was shuffling and I was like, shuffling. So I was kind of cherry picking the cards here. So I'm going to tell you what the other two cards were in case they were for you. But the third card that I pulled, I was like, ooh, yeah, this one's the one. So the first card I pulled was the card yes. Yes. So if you need a sign, yes. The second card I pulled was about boundaries. It was about you needing boundaries. But then the third card I pulled, which I'm going to actually read, was Dance with Life. And I thought this one was really nice for our last podcast of the year. It says, do something to change your energy. Life is always moving. If you resist this ever-changing flow, your energy will become stagnant and you will fall out of flow with the universe. The universe has a mysterious, intelligent force, a natural rhythmic beat, which governs all of life. One of the best ways to shift your energy, frequency, and vibration is to put on some music and dance along with it. When we dance unrestrained, our spirit takes over, and with each new bop, sway, and kick, we are rocked back into harmony with the rest of life. Get unstuck by doing something that shifts your vibration. Put on some music, dance unrestrained, and fall into the frequency of life. In doing so, your body will begin to learn how to be moved by your intuition, which is connected with the systemic beat. If dancing isn't your thing, then simply do something that you would not usually do to shift the energy. You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it, and you cannot attract a different experience without changing your energy first. Ooh. It's time to shift things up and find a way to dance along with the beat of life. Work your light action. Do something to change your energy. I like this card, and it has me thinking because in 2023, it's definitely one of the things that I need to shift. I have been on autopilot for the last 2 years. Literally, head down, business, grow, work, plan. This is sold out, launch another one. And I really need to remember to have fun and play. And I have the ability to travel more, and I have the ability to work remotely, and I have a lot of privileges that I am not taking advantage of at all because I'm so comfortable. So I definitely think one of my personal goals for the new year is going to be getting uncomfortable some more. And I feel like I'm good at doing that in business. But what about every other aspect of my life? And I remember my mentor telling me this year, Steph, if you couldn't use your business to describe you, what would you say? Or what brings you joy outside of your business? You can't just have, one source that fills up your cup. And it's so true, but I need to put so much effort into that. It feels like work. So I really want to get better at that in 2023. So what is it for you, Dance with Life, that you're going to do to change up your energy? For me, I definitely want to focus on more traveling and more solo traveling. I used to love solo traveling, and I haven't done it in a while, so I need to get back to that. It makes me feel really good, and it helps me from being scared. So if you're ever scared to do something, do it because it'll teach you a lot. And if you think you can't do anything, go and do it because then it'll prove to you that you can. So there's a lot of amazing things that can come from traveling alone. And in 2023, it is definitely going to be one of my biggest goals is to plan things, book it off work, and then book things because I'm halfway there. I will book the time off work, but then I'll be too busy to book anything. So then the time comes and I'm just twiddling my thumbs and I'm like, well, if I'm not going anywhere, I might as well work. Not in 2023. New year. I hate to say new year, new me, but new year, improved version of me who plans things. We'll see how that goes. But join me on the 29th. I cannot stress that enough. It's going to be so fun. It is always a hit. It's always a good time. It's only $44 Canadian. It's 2.5 hours. You get the recording. Can't wait to see you there. Oh, and the last announcement that I will say, if you are one of my Reiki students who wants to do their masters, their Reiki Masters Level 3 in March or April, or even May of 2023, please contact me ASAP to get that booked in. January and February are already full, but if you want to do your masters, contact me so we can schedule that. I can answer your questions. I schedule a call with you just to see where you're at in your Reiki, and we can go from there. Hello, this is Future Steph on December 21st. I was meant to release this podcast last week, but it just felt so wrong. And I didn't record it, and I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And I should know by now that I'm an energy worker and I need to follow my intuition. And it was too early to release the last podcast of the year. So we are a week late, but that's okay. I'm still taking a few weeks off, and the podcast will be back on the 11th. But I am ready to do the last podcast of the year now. And I was racking my mind about what I should talk about. I keep changing. I'm like, do I leave them with something hard and a big lesson? Do I do a year-end review? Do I say a story? Everyone loves a story. But I decided I'm going to leave you with a lesson. Mentor Steph coming in with a lesson to finish off 2022. So over the past few months, I've gotten a few massages, which doesn't seem like a very big deal, but I'm someone who really doesn't like touch. So I have to be in pain for me to book a massage. And I hurt my low back a few months ago. So I've just been trying to get regular massages, going to physio, all of the things. I am someone who books appointments just based on availability. So I will jump around to different therapists for massage, just based on who's available when. And I wanted to share the story with you because it's a good lesson on how to start to learn and understand your body and your energy. So this has kind of been a theme for my students after Reiki level 2. They want the next steps. They want to understand energy more. They want to understand how I learned all of these things about energy. And I really didn't understand how to communicate it besides practice and hours and hours and hours of sessions. But I think that this is a good tip that's going to be helpful. So even if you're not Reiki level 1 or Reiki level 2, this will still be helpful for you in understanding your body and your energy. But if you are Reiki level 1 or Reiki level 2, this is very, very helpful. So I have a master's student in February that is scheduled, and she specifically asked for a lot of information about this because she really wants to understand energy. So this is for all of you. Had 2 massages the past month or so with 2 different people. And when I get a massage, I have to very mindfully make sure I'm not tuning into the practitioner. So I very mindfully have to find my off button and make sure that I'm not Reikiing them. Number 2 is I have to really, really focus on my own energy and relaxing because my mind will go nuts. So I usually Reiki myself, or I usually follow their hands around, and I'm trying to figure out what my energy is doing. So I use the time that someone else is massaging me to also Reiki myself and to figure out what my body is saying, why certain things are bothering me, what my intuition is saying about certain areas. So the first time I went for a massage, I actually knew the person and we were kind of talking as we went through, and he was like, can you kind of explain to me, your version of energy and what you're feeling? So as he was working, I was like, yeah, I'll just talk my way through it, and you can learn something from this. I don't mind. So I was talking my way through it, and I was like, oh, it's interesting. Like, as you're here on my right knee, this is what I'm feeling. As you're here over here, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I know about the right legs. This is what I know about the left legs. This is what I know about the left side, the right side. And I wanted to bring this to the podcast because both practitioners said to me, holy cow, you're so aware of your own energy. And I was like, yeah, duh, I'm an energy worker. And they were like, no, you're so aware. And I want everyone to be this aware. So when you're getting massaged, when you're having anyone do any kind of service on you, hair, physio, when someone else is doing Reiki on you, anything where someone else is touching you and supporting your body, be very mindful of everything that you feel in that moment. What emotions are coming up? What are you feeling? What's pulling in what direction? So just as an example, on the second time I was getting a massage, it was from a lady I'd never been to, but I had heard she's really good. And she actually starts you face up and she works into your hips to start. And I was like, I'm going to hate this because I have very, very tight hips. So she just happened in that massage to touch every single area that I hate being touched in. My elbows, near my throat, my hips, my underarms, behind my knees, just all of these very specific areas that I hate being touched. She touched them. Like, it was a very interesting massage, and it was different from anything I've ever had before. But again, it was so much awareness, and it got me thinking, I'm like, why do I hate that? Why is this making me uncomfortable? Why is it so tight in my underarm? That doesn't make sense. Why does this bother me? Why is my right hip so much tighter than my left hip? What's going on with the energy, and why is it not moving down my right leg? Why can I feel it moving down my left leg? Why does my right side keep turning in whenever she's on my left side? What's my right side protecting? So you really have to be aware of every little movement that your body is doing. So if she's on my left side and my right side starts to feel like it's curling inwards, I'm like, why? Okay, she's on my hip. Why is my right hip turning inwards? If she touches somewhere and it's like so uncomfortable that I want to yell at her to stop, I want to start to say to myself, why? Why? Why are her fingers so close to my neck bothering me so much? What is it about my throat? What's this pulling up for me right now? What is this making me aware of? And it was interesting because in the second massage that I received, I was actually very uncomfortable for a lot of it. But I was like, no, Steph, sit in this discomfort. This shouldn't be this uncomfortable for you with all these areas that are like bothering you. So my first tip for you is whenever someone is doing body work on you, be very aware of how you feel. Emotions, physical, mental, emotional. Be very aware of what your body is doing in reaction to the touch in whatever area. Is someone touching your foot and your hip hurts? Did someone touch your foot and then you clenched your fist? Is your jaw really tight? Is your tongue to the roof of the mouth the whole time in a very active state? All of these little tiny cues are going to really, really help you understand, like, okay, why does someone touching my left foot bother me that much? Why does my left leg, I'm really like on pins and needles here? Start to ask why. And then with that information, start to dig in. So another interesting thing that happened was she's like, oh, like, how was the appointment for you? Like, what did you feel? What did you sense? And I kind of told her because I know that she's also an intuitive, and I was, a very lengthy information about what I felt and what my body was feeling and what my energy was doing. And she was like, oh, wow, you're like very in tune with your energy. And I was like, yeah, this is my job. And she's like, no, you're like very aware of your energy. And I was like, yes, this, like, I was kind of laughing. I was like, I'm an energy worker. This is my job. I teach this. And then I was like asking her for her perspective, and I was like, oh, like, what did you sense and feel? And she was like, oh, it sounds like like what you were feeling. She's like, it doesn't matter what I was feeling. She's like, you know your body more than me. And it was such a beautiful statement. And I was like, I wish more people said that. I wish more people pulled their ego back and said, you know your body more than I do. You felt enough. I don't need to say my input at all. And even when I was like, oh yeah, my right hip was doing this and it was interesting when you were over here, I wonder why. Instead of giving me her opinion, she was just like, yeah, I wonder why. What do you think? And I really, really appreciated that. And I left really thinking like, wow, why did that make me so uncomfortable? Why did I not like that? I mean, I don't love massages to begin with, but I really started to think about it. So you have to be, I've said this a million times, you have to be the detective in your life. You have to go asking why. If you don't like massages, if you don't like getting your nails done, if you don't like getting your hair did, I don't like any of those things. I don't like when anyone is touching me for any reason. Nails, hair, pedicure. I actually don't mind facials. I find facials I can relax. But again, why? This is going to really help you tune into your energy. So instead of kind of sitting there and just receiving the appointment, even if you're at the doctor's, if you're at physio, whatever you're at, the chiropractor, the physiotherapist, be very mindful of how you feel with everything they're doing to your physical body, because it's affecting your energy body and you want to see why. Why is that bothering you? Why is that hurt? What happened to make that hurt? The amount of times I say like, oh, anything bothering you? Yeah, my right hip. Okay. Any injuries there? No. Okay. And then, 10 minutes later, actually, yeah, like 3 months ago, I did fall on my right hip. Okay, good. Let's start to think about these things and let's start to link them together. So please know that no one else can do this for you, and no one else is going to do this for you. Yes, in a Reiki session, I can give you what I'm feeling and sensing and knowing, but you know your body best, you know your energy best, and you are going to put these pieces together better than anyone else. So yes, I am very aware of my energy. And yes, when I go for a massage, I'm still kind of working on myself at the same time because I use it as an opportunity to do so. But everybody can be doing this, energy worker or not. Start to pay attention to what your body is doing. And I would even say that this goes outside of just body work. This goes to like conversations, people that you're around, places that you are. But I find when someone's physically working on your body in different ways, it gives you a lot of signs and symbols that's like, why does that bother me? Why is that uncomfortable? Why does my right hip keep turning inwards? What am I protecting? So I wanted to bring that to the podcast because these are small things that seem maybe insignificant that can really help you understand your energy, that can help you figure out different things about your body. This is how I've learned so much about energy. And now, like, again, I'm like a detective. Why? What's my body doing? What's my body trying to tell me? I have the manual to my body, so I am the one that's going to be figuring this all out. I say this a lot in my Reiki courses, and I'll say it again here. We are cars that didn't come with a manual. So you have to make your own manual. What does it mean when there's a light on the dash? What does it mean when, this light is flashing, that light is flashing? We have to write that all out. So this is just a good tip that you can do when you're getting body work done already to start to add to your manual. So that's what I wanted to leave you with at the end of the year, some self-reflection, especially as we go into the holidays. Maybe you're going to be really busy, maybe you're not. See how you feel. See what you need. Tune into your energy. Are you getting ready for a party and you don't want to go? Cancel. Do you need 3 days home alone without talking to anybody, just watching Netflix and eating leftover turkey? Do that. It's very, very important. If you ignore your body's whispers, it will start to scream. We don't want alarm bells. We want to get to the problem before the alarm bells happen. So with that, this is the last episode of 2022 from Medium in the Middle. Thank you for being with me for another year. Thank you for listening, subscribing, leaving reviews. If you haven't already, please leave one. If you want to give me a Christmas gift and we've worked together before, I would love a Google review. I know this is something that companies ask for all the time, but for little tiny businesses like mine, Google reviews actually matter, especially when people are Googling, Reiki and Banff. So please, if you want to give me a little gift, I'll leave the link down below. It'll be easy for you, but a Google review would also be amazing. Thank you so much for being here, Middlers. It has been another wonderful year. I'm excited to jump into 2023 with all of you, sharing more stories, lessons, helping you along the way. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We are here to support each other in community. Again, if you want to work with me, the workshop on December 29th, that's next week, is a great way to do that. Or you can book an appointment with me. I am booking into February. There is a Reiki Level 1 available in February on the 11th and the 12th. If you want to learn Reiki, there's still a few spots in that one. As a reminder, I do Reiki Level 1s and Reiki Level 2s almost monthly. So there's always going to be a course for you, and the timing is important, so don't rush it. You will know when you need to sign up. And for the last time this year, I will see you in a few weeks. January 11th, we will be back, and I will be in your ears. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. I hope it is restful. I hope it's full of food and drink and friends and family, and we come back fresh. If you want, in the meantime, you can stay connected with me on Instagram or Facebook at Medium in the Middle. I'm still very active over there, and that's a great way to stay up to date with everything. But until next year, Middlers, when I see you back in your ears, goodbye, everybody.